everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I am extremely excited to be making this video today because it's September finally. It is my birth month, and so of course September is the most beautiful month in the year to me. I have been in a season of paying attention to things, and somehow I was scrolling through Instagram, I think, and I noticed, which is something that I've obviously seen before, but then it hasn't completely registered until now, that in South Africa, and I believe in other parts of Africa, September is spring, and it's the beginning of spring. You know, in Zambia, we don't really have those seasons, but if I think of September representing spring, I'm not mad at it at all, because I completely agree. When I think of spring, I think of a new season, I think of freshness. And like I said, I've been paying attention. And one thing that I noticed was that the roses in my garden have started to dry up. And I was looking at them the other day, and I noticed how in just a matter of like a week or so, they've completely died. And I was a bit disappointed because I had a vase. Actually, it's just a glass, but I have used it. I'm using it as a vase, and I have a vase on my table which had roses in it. And so I was actually going outside to pick more roses to put on my table. But I got there and I discovered that they've completely died, which was so strange to me. And then I was looking around and I was thinking, I need flowers for my table. And right outside my front door, I have this tree, which is known as the orchid tree, or it's also called the butterfly tree because of the shape of its leaves. And it has these beautiful flowers. Oh my goodness, look how stunning. I mean, it has these flowers, and I'm just gonna put it right here because it's the vibes of the video, which are pink and purple and white, and they're so blooming gorgeous. And I was wondering why it had never occurred to me to get those flowers to put on my table, and so I did that, and they're absolutely stunning. And I think they really represent September well and what's going on in this season. And I'd like to read a Bible verse for you guys, and it is Isaiah 43 verse 19, which says, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it and know it? And will you not give heed to it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." Every single time I read this verse, it astonishes me. And this is actually what I've come to believe is one of my ultimate favorite Bible verses, because almost every season that I go through and it comes back to me, it has so much significance. And this verse came to me today and I was reading it again, and I was amazed because the part that stood out to me was, "Do you not perceive it?" And that really got me thinking about how we tend not to, you can actually miss what is springing up in your life because you do not heed it or you do not perceive it. You're not paying attention to what's going on around you. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, how many times have I been blind to what's going on or what's new, on what God is doing anew in my life, because I've been so focused on the old things. I mean, I could have been focused on those dead old roses and been miserable, but then I noticed that actually not far from where I live, there is this beautiful tree and there's so many of them around that are springing up, and it just amazed me. And it just came to me as what I wanted to share with you today. It might be only for me, but I believe it's very significant for other people as well. God is always in the business of doing new things, and if you're not paying attention, then it's very easy to miss it. A friend of mine posted on Facebook this morning about how September is the beginning of the last quarter of the year, I think. or is it the last third? The last third of the year. And we still have 4 months to do things. And it's really important to be paying attention and listening to what God has to say and being intentional about saying, listen, I'm going to switch off from the world today for an hour, for a day, and I'm really just going to pay attention to what God is saying. And that really struck me. I mean, I could have scrolled past, but it made me stop and think. And I'd just like to say thank you to her for sharing that. And it made me think about how like I really have to pay attention, and I think that's something that we are all called to do as believers. Just pay attention to what's happening and what is important for you to focus on as we step into the last third of the year. So I'm very excited to see what God will be doing in you. And this verse, like I said, has so much significance in my life, and I think in the coming few videos, I will probably be shedding more light on this. But for today, that's pretty much all I had to say. Another way that I've been paying attention, which is actually what got me thinking or on this train of thought, was I've been paying attention to what my body is saying. And I know that's one of those cliche almost sayings that people tend to say, and you don't really pay much attention to them. Like, what is your body saying? Like, what does that even mean? And I've actually been paying attention to what my body has been saying the past few days. So I've gotten into a dedicated fitness routine for the umpteenth time, but I feel that this time is different because I've actually been listening to what my body is saying. What is it actually trying to say? Is it saying it needs more work in this area? Is this shoulder sore? Is this muscle a bit tense? Is it my stomach? Are my feet hurting? Is my skin dehydrated? There's so many things that our body says to us that we don't actually pay attention to. And so that's just a sidebar, just a little something extra for you to think about as well. What is your body saying to you, and what do you need to switch up now that winter is almost over and spring has sprung? One thing that I know everybody's body is saying to them, and sometimes I'm very guilty of this myself, but it's really extremely important for us to stay hydrated. It's always important, but now more than ever because the weather's starting to warm up, and sometimes our bodies are actually screaming, give me water, hydrate me. Our skin tells it to us, our body, and how, sometimes we feel quite lethargic and just slow and sluggish, but sometimes it's just a matter of staying hydrated. So that is just a last thought that I wanted to leave with you. Pay attention to what your body is saying to you, but ultimately, if you take nothing else away from this video, what is God saying to you? And what do you need to do more or change up or do better in these last few months of the year? I'll be seeing you real soon. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye. Ooh, it's the glow for me. It's the glow for me. You guys, how stunning, how stunning. It's gonna be the thumbnail, something along these lines. Bye. Thanks for watching, if I didn't say before.